When football fans think about drama, passion, and unpredictability, there's hardly a fixture in English football that carries as much history and intensity as Manchester United versus Chelsea. This is a clash that has delivered unforgettable nights, emotional breakdowns, and moments that are etched into the memory of millions around the world. And once again, the Premier League gives us this heavyweight battle, but this time with an added layer of pressure on one side. Manchester United, a team still struggling to find consistency, host Chelsea, who themselves are rebuilding but showing signs of dangerous potential. With the weight of history and the urgency of the present, this match feels like it could define more than just 3 points. It could shape the direction of two giants of English football. Let's set the stage. Old Trafford, the theater of dreams, under the floodlights. The crowd is buzzing, the atmosphere electric, because this isn't just any game. It's Manchester United versus Chelsea. You can almost feel the tension in the air as fans pour into the stadium. Red scarves raised high, blue shirts dotted across the away end, chants bouncing from one end of the ground to the other. For United, the pressure is immense. They've stumbled through results, struggling to put together a convincing performance, and whispers about the manager's future have grown louder. Every misplaced pass is analyzed, every defensive error magnified. For Chelsea, meanwhile, there's a sense of cautious optimism. They've had their fair share of struggles in recent seasons, but a talented young squad is beginning to click under new leadership. When these two collide, there's no such thing as a quiet night. Earlier in the weekend, the Premier League had already set the tone. Liverpool took on Everton in the first Merseyside derby of the season, and it was as fiery as you'd expect. The tackles flew in, the crowd roared with every challenge, and despite Everton's determination to hold on, Liverpool's relentless attack proved too much. Mohamed Salah, ever the talisman, found space inside the box and delivered the decisive blow. A 2-1 victory at Anfield left the red half of Merseyside celebrating deep into the night, while Everton walked away frustrated but knowing they had given everything in the derby. Those kinds of games remind you exactly why English football commands the attention of the world. Then came Tottenham Hotspur against Brighton and Hove Albion, and what a roller coaster that turned out to be. Brighton struck early, exploiting Spurs' defensive gaps with two well-worked goals. At 2-0 down, Tottenham's fans feared the worst. But this is a new Spurs side, one with grit and determination. The comeback began with a brilliant move down the right, a cutback into the box, and a calm finish to make it 2-1. The stadium erupted, belief returned, and suddenly Spurs were swarming forward. The equalizer, when it came, was a moment of pure joy. A long-range strike, curling into the top corner, sending the home supporters wild. The game finished 2-2, but for Tottenham, it felt like a statement of resilience. For Brighton, it was a reminder of just how tough this league can be when you let your guard down. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Burnley and Nottingham Forest battled to a 1-1 draw. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a match filled with intensity and the kind of grit you expect from teams fighting to secure their place in the top flight. West Ham United, meanwhile, suffered a setback with a 2-1 loss to Crystal Palace. Palace, organized and disciplined, took their chances with precision, leaving West Ham ruining missed opportunities. Wolverhampton Wanderers fell to Leeds United, who produced a powerful 3-1 victory that had their fans singing long after the final whistle. These games might not carry the global headlines, but for the fans involved, they mean everything. And across Europe, the action was just as captivating. In La Liga, Real Madrid faced Espanyol. Los Blancos, as always, entered the game with the expectation of victory, and they delivered. A composed performance, highlighted by fluid attacking moves and a solid defense, gave them a 2-0 win. Every time Real Madrid step onto the pitch, it feels like they're adding another layer to their incredible history, and against Espanyol, they reminded everyone why they remain the giants of Spanish football. Meanwhile, over in Germany, Harry Kane continued to light up the Bundesliga. The English striker, now donning Bayern Munich's famous red shirt, scored a hat-trick in a commanding 4-1 win over Hoffenheim. Each goal was a masterclass in finishing, one with his left, one with his right, and one from inside the box where his positioning proved unstoppable. Bayern fans are falling in love with Kane, and his performances are proving that he was the perfect signing for the Bavarians. But all roads this weekend lead back to Old Trafford. Manchester United versus Chelsea isn't just about form. It's about pride, it's about history, and it's about the future. Let's dive into what this game means for both sides. For United, it's a chance to silence the critics, to show that despite the turbulence, they can rise when it matters most. The players know the pressure they're under. Bruno Fernandes rallies his teammates before kickoff, reminding them of what it means to wear the shirt. This is our house, our fans, our fight. You can imagine him saying in the huddle, as the crowd roars around them. Marcus Rashford, desperate to rediscover his best form, stands on the touchline with determination etched across his face. Every United player knows that anything less than victory will only add fuel to the fire of doubt. For Chelsea, it's about making a statement. A squad filled with young, hungry players wants to prove they can handle the pressure of the biggest stages. Reece James, captaining the side, points towards the away supporters and shouts, "This is for you," as the team prepares to kick off. Cole Palmer, one of the brightest young talents, knows that a performance under the lights at Old Trafford could elevate his reputation even further. Chelsea's manager, pacing the technical area, urges his players to press high, to attack with confidence, and to believe that United's fragile defense can be broken. The match kicks off and instantly the intensity is clear. Every tackle is cheered, every pass is pressured. United push forward early, trying to take control. The ball falls to Fernandes on the edge of the box, and his shot whistles just wide of the post. The crowd gasps, sensing that this could be the night United finally click. But Chelsea are dangerous on the break. Raheem Sterling bursts down the wing, cuts inside, and unleashes a shot that forces the goalkeeper into a sprawling save. The away fans erupt, their chants growing louder with every counterattack. As the first half wears on, you can almost hear the commentators describing the ebb and flow of the game. United dominating possession, but Chelsea dangerous every time they break forward, one would say. This is classic Premier League football, intense, unpredictable, and impossible to take your eyes off. Another would add, and they'd be right. This isn't just a football match. It's a battle of wills, a test of character for both sides. The second half begins with even greater urgency. United know they need a goal, and Chelsea sense the chance to snatch one themselves. A scramble in the box sees the ball bounce dangerously before being cleared at the last second. The fans can hardly sit down, their nerves stretched to the limit. Every corner, every free kick feels like it could change the entire game. Then, in a moment of brilliance, Chelsea string together a series of passes, cutting through United's midfield. The final ball is played into the box, and the striker fires it into the net. The away end explodes, blue shirts bouncing in unison, while Old Trafford falls silent in shock. But this is football. United, wounded but not beaten, throw everything forward. Rashford charges down the left, beating his man and crossing into the box. A header flies just over. Time is running out, but the fans rise to their feet, urging their team on. Finally, deep into stoppage time, United win a free kick on the edge of the box. Fernandes stands over it, the weight of expectation heavy on his shoulders. He strikes it cleanly, the ball curling over the wall and dipping towards the corner. The goalkeeper dives, fingertips stretched, but it's in. Old Trafford erupts in sheer ecstasy, the noise shaking the very foundations of the stadium. United players run towards the fans, arms aloft, while Fernandes is mobbed by his teammates. The final whistle blows soon after, and the game ends in a dramatic draw, one that neither side will forget in a hurry. As the players walk off the pitch, you can see it in their faces. Relief, frustration, pride, disappointment, all of it mixing together in the aftermath of a battle that lived up to the occasion. For United, it was a lifeline, a reminder that even under pressure, they can still produce moments of magic. For Chelsea, it was proof that they can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the league. And for the fans, it was another unforgettable chapter in the story of two giants colliding. And that is what makes the Premier League so special. From Liverpool's derby win to Tottenham's comeback, from Burnley's grit to Leeds' power, from Madrid's composure to Kane's brilliance in Munich, Every game tells a story. Every moment adds to the drama. But when Manchester United and Chelsea meet, the entire footballing world stops to watch. Because in that clash, you find everything we love about football: passion, history, drama, and the promise of something unforgettable.